Chapter 1: The Natural Order.
We are living in this world wherein patterns are everywhere. Patterns in nature are visible, regular forms found in the natural world. From the time we wake up in the morning to the time we bed down for the night, our lives is filled with patterns, behavior, thought processes themselves, human nature. Patterns constitute an integral and essential part of a whole. Our surroundings are made up of patterns, and mathematics help us recognize and analyze them in order to find deeper understanding of their concept, such as origins, whys, and hows. Patterns are regular occurrences in our lives, not just a physical aspect like arts and structures. It could also be how often certain phenomena do happen.
400 years ago, the German astronomer Johannes Kepler wrote a small book, The Six-Cornered Snowflake. In it, he argued that snowflakes must be made by packing tiny identical units together. Kepler performed no experiments. He just thought very hard about various bits and pieces of common knowledge. His main evidence was the six-fold symmetry of snowflakes, which is a natural consequence of regular packing. We are surrounded by patterns, describing the sum of nature's multitude of patterns, the regular movements of the stars in the night sky, the sixfold symmetry of snowflakes, the stripes of tigers and zebras, the recurring patterns of sand dunes, rainbows, the spiral of snail's shell. Why nearly all flowers have petals arranged in one of the following numbers: 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, and 89. The regular patterns or rhythms made by animals cuddling, walking, flying, and swimming, the arrangement of the seeds of a sunflower, the trajectories of the planets, the list is almost endless.
Mathematics can be involved in spotting the regularity of a pattern as seen in triangular or square number sequences, Fibonacci, Kepler's law for planetary trajectories, or the number of symmetries we can find in an object, and the self-similarity rule seen on fern leaves. All of these are descriptions of a phenomenon. They are all fractals. Fractal geometry is a new science of irregularity that sprang up within the last 15 years. Chaos, the dynamic process that causes fractal geometry, will be featured extensively. The elusive patterns of nature are starting to unveil their secrets through the development of new mathematical theories, seeing practical impact as well as an intellectual impact. Mathematics was developed by humans as a formal system of thought for recognizing, classifying, and exploiting patterns. Through these systems, we have uncovered a great secret. Nature's patterns are not just to be admired. They are vital clues to the rules that govern natural processes. In short, mathematics reveal hidden patterns that help us understand our world.
Numerology as a pattern-seeking method is considered the easiest. Everyone can have the ability to recognize a frequent appearance of numbers. What makes it dangerous lies in the fact that humans can be superstitious. People tend to compare numerical patterns as a sign from a higher being. Another reason is that seeing numbers pattern can be mere coincidences, but humans can interpret this as something more. Aside from numbers, we know that the shapes are regularities as well. They can be found in the common example of flowers to the shapes we find after a disturbance. Shapes in nature can be manipulated by a disturbance, may it be by human or by natural occurrence. Humans can interact with geometry and use it in their work. Sometimes it can be not on purpose, like how a sailor boat creates V-shaped ripples on the ocean, Ocean also creates their own shapes by pushing water. By doing so, waves and ripples are created. Creatures living in the ocean have shapes as well.
Once we have learned to recognize a background pattern, exemptions suddenly stand out. The planets were the clues to the rules behind gravity and motion. As years have passed, we are still constantly learning and discovering new kinds of patterns. But only within the last 30 years has humanity become explicitly aware of the two types of pattern, now known as fractals and chaos. Fractals are geometric shapes that repeat their structure on ever finer scales, and chaos is a kind of apparent randomness whose origins are entirely deterministic. Nature knew about these patterns billions of years ago, for clouds are fractal and weather is chaotic. It took a while for humanity to catch up. The simplest mathematical objects are numbers, and the simplest nature's patterns are numerical. The phases of the moon make a complete cycle from new moon to full moon and back again every 28 days. The year is 365 days long roughly. This propensity to see patterns had real survival value to our primitive ancestors. They are part of our human nature and daily living because it is our human nature to want patterns due to we commonly found it anywhere and everywhere. So, in conclusion, the development of mathematical theories revealed secrets of the universe. In this matter, it shows us that every matter is made up of patterns. What we know today allow us to understand the meaning of the simple regularities around us. Knowing this also explains our place in the universe. Most of all, giving us the deeper vision of the universe in which we live and of our own place in it.